Welcome to NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. Yo, football fans, what's going on? It's your boy Brandon here on NFL Real Talk on this absolutely gorgeous Saturday afternoon. Saturday, October 8th. Right before week 5 of the NFL season. But we're gonna go ahead and get into it because I got a few things I want to cover from the get-go. So how about this Frank Gore Eagles thing? Frank Gore said that when they came out in the second half, the Eagles basically threw in a towel. Now, here's my thing about this. One part of me wants to believe it because, they just folded under the pressure, and they've, done it for the past 3 weeks. They folded under the pressure of Vince Young declaring the dream team status. But the other part of me says that they aren't that good and they just got their butts kicked. I mean, it is what it is. I mean, I've never known an Andy Reid team to quit. His players respect him. There's too much respect there. His teams normally fight to the finish. But the part of me that wants to believe it is the part of me that's winning, because I just don't believe that team is that good, really. I mean, they're talented, but at key places that success depends on, they're lacking in those areas. And those areas are quarterback, run defense, and offensive line. Those are the three main components to success in today's NFL. Running game doesn't matter. It's a passing league now. It's a passing league. If you can run the ball, great, but it's a passing league now. You win by passing the ball. You win by throwing it around the yard. I mean, look at the Green Bay Packers last year. So, this whole thing, I just think that the 49ers came out with momentum and kicked their butts because they aren't that good. Or let me correct myself. I'm not going to say they aren't that good, but they're not as good as the preseason hype and the off-season hype would suggest. Everybody had them at the top of the NFC. You know what? Go around and ask how many people had the Redskins sitting at 3-1 at the top of the division after 4 weeks, and see how many lies you get. The Redskins and the Giants are the best two teams in the NFC East right now, with the Redskins being the best team. They don't have the best quarterback, but all around they're the best team. They can run the ball, and they got a really good defense. Who would have thought after 4 weeks that we'd be talking about Washington being the best team in the NFC East? Well, then you got your Washington homers out there. Well, hey, Rex Grossman said before the season that we were going to win the NFC East, and I've been saying it all along. Yeah, sure you have. Yeah, but moving on. Texans wide receiver Andre Johnson expected to miss 2 weeks with a hamstring, I believe. Yeah, it's a hamstring. Here's why I would keep him out at least 3 or 4 weeks. Here's why. Number one, in that division, in the AFC South, the Titans are bound to stumble at some point. I don't think that they have enough offense to sustain the pace that they're going for an entire season. Meanwhile, you got the Texans, and who would have thought, man? Who would have thought when we be talking about the AFC South that that the Colts wouldn't be mentioned in our first breath. It's just weird. But anyway, the Texans, on the other hand, are playing out of their minds right now. They went and manhandled Pittsburgh last week. Nobody's really stopping Arian Foster. And, Matt Schaub came out and proved that they can move the ball down the field without Andre Johnson being on the field or being on the field. Their defense is playing pretty well. Heck, they shut Pittsburgh down last week. So, I think they're going to be fine without him. So I would not rush him back from this injury. You see what happened to Miles Austin in Dallas. They rushed him out. They rushed him back into action, and now he's out again. He probably shouldn't have played in week 1. And you see the consequences of that. A hamstring is something that requires a lot of rest in order to heal. And when you don't rest it, there's a really, really, really good chance that thing is going to flare up on you in another week or two. And you're seeing it now. So, if I were the Texans, I'd keep him out, 3 or 4 weeks. Not quite sure when their bye is, but I'd keep him out for at least 3 or 4 weeks. The Indianapolis Colts, let's go back to that Monday night game against the Buccaneers. See, I wanted to believe that they could win that game, but when your starting quarterback is named Curtis Painter, I mean, how likely is it? How likely is it that you can win ball games with Curtis Painter? I don't know. I mean, to me, they're in prime position to win the suck for luck sweepstakes. Except they won't be doing it on purpose because they suck for real. So I think them and Miami are going to be duking it out for that sweepstakes. Coming back after the break, we'll have Kennedy come in for the brand new Mayweather segment. I'll explain what that is when we come back. This is Brandon on NFL Real Talk Radio. Be sure to come back next week and tune in for a full recap of Week 5 and a preview of Week 6, only on NFL Real Talk Radio with Brandon and Kennedy. All right, folks, we're back as promised. I told you that after the break, we're going to be introducing our new segment, the Mayweather segment. Basically, let me describe how we use the term Mayweather, and Kennedy is going to describe this a little too. But the term Mayweather comes from, I don't know if you've ever watched the 24/7 series, any of the 24/7 series with Floyd Mayweather, or if you've ever watched any of the documentaries on Floyd Mayweather. I don't know if there's a nice way to say this. His dad mainly is mainly where the term comes from. He just does really, dumb stuff. They just do Mayweather things, And Kennedy and I, we came up with this term, but he's going to explain it a little bit more. Here's Kennedy with the Mayweather segment, only on NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy.
Mayweather.
Hello, my name is Kennedy, and welcome to our podcast. I'd like to thank my friend Brandon for
coming up with the idea of doing a podcast on the NFL. We've been going back and forth about this league and how much we love it and some of the great players and names that make it up for about, 5-6 years. He came up with this, asked me to come up with a segment. My segment is called Mayweather's of the Week. Now, it has something to do with Floyd Mayweather, and it kind of don't. A couple years ago, I was watching HBO's 24/7 De La Hoya Mayweather. And as I watched Floyd Sr., and Roger interact with each other, I was like, these are the three biggest ends I've ever seen in my life. Their behavior and attitude towards each other is so, how can I say, BET Comic View, that I thought, nah, I'm not going to even use that word anymore. I'm going to, from now on, that word is going to be replaced by Mayweather. But then I thought, man, that's an awful, hurtful word. I can't put it on one family's name, but it's funny. So when I come up with Mayweather is just ignorant, stupid things. Doesn't mean that Floyd or his father or his uncle are ignorant or stupid. It's just that it sounds funny. It's like, yeah, it's a Mayweather. Oh, look at that, Mayweather there. Stuff like that. You know that Mayweather owes me money? Something like that. So I just came up with this list. And so the first 4 weeks of the NFL season have passed, and some things have happened that are great, some things that happen are not so great. I'm going to focus on the not so great. That's right. That's a hater right here. So there's a lot of offense, not a lot of defense, which is still good. But then there are some teams that, the NFL loves to have, teams that one year are like 4-12, the next year are 12-4. It happens with the NFL. That's why we love it. But this year there's a lot of teams that are in places that you're like, what the hell? And so there, I've come up with my fraudulent five. My fraudulent five consists of a bunch of 3-1 teams that are 3-1, but really do I believe you that you're 3-1? The teams consist of the Washington Redskins, the New York Giants, the San Francisco 49ers, the Buffalo Bills, and the Tennessee Titans. They're 3-1, but do you buy that they're 3-1?
All right, we had a couple technical difficulties on that segment, but I got Kennedy on the line here. Kennedy, are you there?
Yeah, what's up?
Yeah, just go into a little bit of detail about your fraudulent five.
My fraudulent five consists of Washington Redskins, New York Giants, San Francisco 49ers, Buffalo Bills, and Tennessee Titans. All 5 teams are 3-1. But I really don't believe they're 3-1. Redskins beat a Giants team that was injury depleted. Also, they barely beat a high school football team in the St. Louis Rams. The New York Giants, thanks to the NFL and those goofy rules they have, should have went 2-2 against Arizona. Buffalo, y'all came back and beat Oakland. Okay, I give y'all that. The New England one, them dudes was high-fiving each other after the third quarter, so they weren't even paying attention. Tennessee, the only reason you're 3-1 is because Baltimore was all still drunk off their win off of Pittsburgh and San Francisco. The reason why I don't believe you're 3-1, what is that reason? Oh, right, you don't score any damn points. But now, 4 weeks from now, we're in the middle of the season. Hey, all you teams could be, 7-1. We're 6-2. But we all know that you're going to be 4-4. We're looking for trying to suck again to get Andrew Luck. We know this. So you're fraudulent. But I could be wrong, but I'm usually not. Also, along with my Mayweather, of all the arrests that are happening in the NFL recently, we have We also have a key to leave. You know, I'm gonna leave him alone. That dude is so gangster. I mean, screw NFL checks. He should be, bodyguard for Rick Ross. Like 450.
Yeah, he's one of the authentic ones. He's one of the authentic, what we call it, Mayweathers.
Yeah. Oh, straight up and down. And he also one of those players that I don't give a damn.
Yeah, pretty much.
Look at the paycheck. I will hurt you. That is the NFL version of survival. You pimple him, gun in the face.
Yeah.
But then also, I have two Mayweathers who are in football but do not play the game. First person would be Hank Williams Jr. Now, Hank, you're surprised that you got fired from ESPN. ESPN. Why are you surprised? You compared the president to Adolf Hitler. You know who? You know the president. The president who, for the last 3 years, for every March is in ESPN studios making brackets.
Right.
Like him.
It was bad enough. It was bad enough that Hank Williams, being of Caucasian descent, was talking about President Obama anyway. But the fact that he compared him to Hitler, I mean, are you stupid?
Yeah, Hitler. How is he Hitler? Last time I checked, the only dudes he's killing are terrorists. Obama might be like 6'2", 140, but he will hit a drone in a heartbeat. Don't mess with him. He ain't killing Jews. He ain't killing anybody but people who hate this country. Don't compare him to terrorists. And you got fired. Now, hopefully, over the 23 years that you made your money, you saved it up. I doubt it. I'm assuming you got a ship full of Jim Beam and Jack Daniels chilling on ice, and you just drinking your money away. But, here and there. The second person is Al Michaels. Everybody knows Al Michaels, from him calling the game, the Miracle on Ice, to all the years of Monday Night Football, and Sunday Night Football, which he's on now with that, what's that lane's name that no one likes? Collinsworth or something like that. But during the game where the Baltimore Ravens were kicking the crap out of the New York Jets, he made a mention to Haloti Ngata in his new contract. And in mentioning that, he said something about how Warren Buffett wants Haloti to pay $1 million off the top. Dude, stop interjecting your political views in football games. Al, we all know, yeah, you're Republican. Yeah, you live on Malibu. That's good for you. But we're watching football. We're watching a team kick the crap out of Sanchez.
Yeah.
And out of John Green. Might as well, by the way, Sean Green, quit. You suck.
Yeah, I'm not a Ravens fan.
How you feel about what the president or what other people want to do as far as political games? We're just watching the game that we love. The game that almost got ripped away from us by these greedy owners. Oh yeah, also greedy owners. Jerry Richardson and Jerry Jones. Thank you for costing us this game.
Hey, back.
$1 million, and you wanted 6 more? Look, you're getting bankrupt. Don't mess this up. This ain't the NHL. This ain't the NBA. Y'all getting money. Supposedly, in 5 years from now, you'll be making $20 billion. Dude, stop being greedy. Share like.
All right, back to Monday Night Football, real quick.
That will come with some more Mayweathers, most likely Philly. Oh yeah,
Hey.
City of Philadelphia. Jesus. For your dream team, the baseball team was supposed to be the best thing ever, and then they just get put out last night.
Hey, Kennedy. Back to Monday Night Football, real quick. All right, Hank Williams Jr. fired. Do you think they're going to get somebody to replace him? I do, and right now my money is on Soulja Boy.
See, I was gonna go Soulja Boy, but he's kind of relevant right now. You need somebody irrelevant who ain't nobody heard in a minute. My candidate is Nelly. No, Murphy Lee. Murphy Lee. What the hood gonna be? I guess nothing.
Right.
What's your career gonna be? I guess nothing.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, that's the segment. I think it's a heck of a segment.
Rest in peace, Al Davis.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Al Davis.
Bring the game along in the 60s and the 50s, 60s, 70s. Went a little crazy, but still, great pioneer for what he did. Hired the first black coach, hired the first Hispanic coach. The president hired the first female president of an NFL organization. Rest in peace, Al Davis.
Yeah, and I just I wish he was going to be here long enough to stick around to see them win the Super Bowl this year. Because clearly, I think this league is a little bit more wide open than everybody's making it seem.
Yeah.
The Patriots they can score for days, but they can't stop anybody, and I think that's going to eventually come back and bite them in the butt. We'll see. I mean, I got them winning the division. I had the Raiders winning their division because of North Turner, and only because of North Turner.
Yep.
And
Michael Silver of Yahoo Sports has the Raiders in the AFC Championship game.
Yeah. So.
I mean, they're a good team.
Yeah.
Jackson's doing a good job. Jason Campbell finally has a coach who believes in him. He has a great running game. I mean, for so many years he was stuck with Clinton Portis. You know Clinton Portis. Hey, give me the ball. Oh yeah, I just tripped on after 5 yards. I'm sorry. I mean, the only thing he needs is receivers that can catch him. He's good to go.
Yeah. Speaking of Clinton Portis, where is Clinton Portis now?
Last time I heard he was tried out for the Kansas City Chiefs. Also tried out for the Miami Dolphins. He pretty much just anytime someone's running back goes down, he calls him up and says, "I'm ready."
Oh, okay. Because that's funny. Because the last I heard he was working at some full service gas station off of some dirt road in Kansas. With one of his costumes on.
Only sometimes when he answers the phone, "I'm ready." It's usually a bill collector, then he hangs up immediately. It happens when you owe money.
All right. Well.
Larry Johnson. Also, Larry Johnson is also competing in UFC, but he keeps losing because for some reason they won't put him against women. Larry. Come on. I'm undefeated against women. My record was against men. I'm back 300. That's the best. I was wrong for that one. Sorry about that. Because I do not condone domestic violence. I'm sorry. That's wrong. That's wrong. We apologize. We apologize.
Well, that's why we call this segment. That's why we call this segment the Mayweather segment, because of stuff like that. I mean, it's no holds bar. Whatever's funny, we talk about it. So,
yeah, pretty much.
But that's pretty much it. Kennedy, I'd like to thank you for the segment, and we'll be back next week.
All right.
There you have it, folks. This is our first show. We wanted to start in the beginning of the season, but our schedules just didn't allow it. But we're here now. We'll be here for the remainder of the season. So hit us up. Email us at nflreeltalk. That's nflreeltalk talk@gmail.com. And let us know, what you think of the show, any comments that you might have about something we covered or something that we didn't cover. And, some things that you may want to hear us talk about or discuss and, in either segment. And, with that being said, I'm going to end with my picks for this week. All right, we got Philadelphia, Buffalo. I actually like Buffalo in this game. I think that they're going to be able to run the ball well, and this is going to be a high-scoring game. Neither team's really going to break away from the other, but I got Buffalo coming out on top. I'm going Buffalo 35-28. Kansas City at Indy. I didn't want to pick this one, but for the sake of the show, I'm gonna because I'm gonna pick every game. But KC at Indy. Jesus, I'm just gonna take the home team. Just because both teams stink. But I think Indy's gonna come out on top on this one. I'm gonna go Indy 17-10. Arizona at Minnesota. I think Minnesota is it's gonna get Arizona at home. It's gonna get really loud in there. I think Kevin Cobb's gonna be a little rattled. I like Minnesota in this one. I'm going 26-20. Seattle at New York Giants. This one's gonna get ugly early. Seattle traveling from west to east. And they're not good. So I got this one getting real ugly, real early. So I'm taking the Giants in this one, 31-13. Tennessee at Pittsburgh. I like Tennessee in this one. I'm going to go 10-7. New Orleans at Carolina. I got this is my upset pick of the week, actually. I'm actually taking Carolina in this one. And I'm going to go Carolina 27-17. And Cincinnati at Jacksonville. I like Jacksonville at home. This one's kind of a gimme, but I'm going to take Jacksonville at home. I got kind of a thing for home teams this week. But anyways, Jacksonville at home, 13-10. Oakland at Houston. I like Oakland in this one, actually. And briefly, I'll tell you why. They got a good running game. They can run on anybody, I believe. They got a really good offensive line. And the passing game isn't great, but, it's what it needs to be, which is they manage games and they don't make a lot of mistakes. So I like Oakland away at Houston. I'm going Oakland 2017. Tampa Bay at San Francisco. I like Tampa Bay over San Francisco 27-23. San Diego at Denver. I like San Diego in this one. I think Phillip Rivers has a big game. I'm going to take San Diego in this one. We're going to go 28-16. Headline matchup of the week. New York Jets at New England. I think New England takes this one. The Jets defense isn't really they're not playing. They haven't played up to par so far in the season, I don't think. So I'm gonna take Tom Brady and the Patriots in this one. I'm gonna go New England 35-30. Sunday night game, Green Bay at Atlanta. I like Green Bay at this one. I think Atlanta's slightly overrated this year, but I like Aaron Rodgers in this one. Again, I think it's going to be a high-scoring game in this one. I'm going 42-28, Green Bay. Monday night game, Chicago at Detroit. I think Detroit gets this one. It's a division game. It's going to be close. Not going to blow any. There ain't going to be any blowouts here. But I do like Detroit. Matt Stafford is playing really well this year. Calvin Johnson is unstoppable. So I'm taking Detroit in this one, 21-17. Those are my picks for the week. And make sure you tune in next week for a full recap of Week 5. And, just come back and join us. We'll have the second edition of the Mayweather segment. I think it's going to be really good. Hopefully, we'll be able to get it so you'll be able to hear it a little better this time. But we had some technical difficulties this time. But hopefully, next time it'll be better. So, signing out for Kennedy, I'm Brandon, and this has been NFL Real Talk with Brandon and Kennedy. Have a good one.